attended college together, and he is originally from Suriname, and he is here with us. Milton,
Milton,
welcome,
welcome.
welcome to
Welcome to
Away We
Away We
Go.
Go.
Thank you very much. Hello, everybody.
Yes, it's
Yes,
great
it's
to have
great
you
to
here
have you
with
here
us,
with us,
Milton.
Milton.
So
So
we are
we are
gonna
gonna
be ready
be
to
ready to
go
go
to
to
our
our
um,
um,
trip
trip
today,
today
as we
as
are
we are
taking
taking
on
on
the
the
Jewel,
Jewel,
which is
which is
I didn't know
I
this, but
didn't know this,
Suriname
but
is really
Suriname
a
is really a
Caribbean
Caribbean
nation, right?
nation, right?
Because the
Because the
coastline is to the
coastline is to the
Caribbean
Caribbean
Ocean.
Ocean.
So
So
we'll take
we'll
a
take a
moment and
moment
we'll
and
go
we'll go
there.
there.
And I
And I
just
just
want to
want to
say
say
welcome to
welcome to
everybody. I want to
everybody. I
give
want to
shout
give shout
outs
outs
to
to
Whitney, Corinne, and everyone else watching online. Thank you for joining us today. And we're getting ready to go. So get your passport ready, and let's go on. Away we go. So um, we're gonna go right into Google Earth, and we're getting ready to take on the the nation of Suriname. We'll start, of course, in in the world. Here is our world. That little speck, little piece in the ocean, and this is where I'm live from in Columbus, Ohio. If you can see it right there, and then we go from here all the way right to South America. There's Columbus, and from here we move to South America. Now, when you say Suriname, a lot of people don't know where Suriname is, but Suriname, and I hope I'm saying it right, Milton, is Suriname in Espanol, Suriname. Is that right?
Yeah,
How would a person?
you can say Suriname.
Uh huh.
uh-huh,
You can say it Suriname,
Uh
or you
huh.
can
uh-huh,
say it like we say it, Suriname.
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 Yes.
Okay.
Okay,
All right.
all right.
Hold on. Let me. Yes. All right. Is that better? Good. So let
Let
me
me
go right
go
here.
right
We
here.
go
We
through
go
the
through the
coast
coast
to the
to the
Caribbean
Caribbean
Ocean,
Ocean,
and
and
right
right
next
next
to
to
Venezuela, we
Venezuela,
have
we have
Trinidad and
Trinidad and
Tobago.
Tobago.
We have the
We have the
country in
country in
Guyana,
Guyana,
and right
and
here, right between the Guyanas, the French Guyana and the English Guyana, is the beautiful nation of Suriname. Um, and here is the South American continent, and as you can see, it's in the north part.
South America, and here it is. And we're going to start our journey today right in the capital, which is Paramaribo. So we're going right here to the capital of Suriname, which is Paramaribo, which incidentally, it's the most populated city in the nation of Suriname. And let me see, for those of you that are seeing it on Facebook Live, you can see right here where Paramaribo is located. Again, this is the the ocean. The whole north part of the country is the coastline with the Caribbean Ocean. Milton, how far away is Paramaribo from Trinidad and Tobago?
It's about an hour and a half flying from Paramaribo to
I can't hear him.
Port of Spain.
I can't hear Milton. I
Hmm?
cannot hear Milton. I'm sorry.
Let's see.
I can't hear Milton.
Do you
Oh,
hear
okay.
me? Can you hear me now?
Uh, Sorry about that.
Hmm.
Okay, I hear you there now.
Yeah, it's about an hour and a half flying from Paramaribo to Port of Spain,
Uh huh. All right.
so it's not too far.
Is this what we're seeing in Facebook right now? Can we just focus on the Google Earth, on just the one? Yeah. And as we're talking about it, because we're gonna go right through it. And, all right. So here is the capital of Suriname, Paramaribo. I just love to say it. It just sounds so good, Paramaribo, which is an incredible history. So, Milton, I'm gonna take advantage that we have you right here. And first of all, I want to say thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for your time. I know the nation. And I know you have TV programs to record, and you took a break
No.
to come to join us. So thank you so much. Um, so I'm right here showing the capital of Paramaribo, and let me stop right here the program, and I'm gonna bring you. So I show you guys where it is located, Suriname, and I'm gonna bring Milton right into the screen. And Milton, if you could talk to us and tell us a little bit about Suriname, when it was founded, the independence, a little bit about the country.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you also, Dan, for the invitation. It's a pleasure to share a little about Suriname because one day will not be enough to share
Right.
uh, about this beautiful country that's on the northeast coast of South America. We were a colony of the Netherlands until 1975. So for right now, we are 44 years independent. So it's a young nation.
Very young, only 44 years old.
Only 44 years old, yeah. So our main language is Dutch. We also speak Surinamese or Taki Taki, and also different languages from the people from Indonesia, the people from India. They still speak their own language, and also the Maroons. The Maroons are the descendants of the African slave that came during the slavery period. So we have a diversity of ethnicities and cultures that are combined. Um, right now, we're the greenest nation on the face of the earth. So we're praying and working hard that we'll keep it that way because 75% or 70% of our country consists of pure green Amazon rainforest.
What percentage was that again?
70%.
70%.
Seven.
That's incredible.
Yes.
And most of these lands are still virgin lands. No man
Virgin.
has ever laid foot on them.
Yeah, most of it. Most of it. People are
That's
going there,
incredible.
but it's protected. You know, it's
Okay.
protected by the government and a couple of international organizations. So we try to keep it that way. But sometimes, you know, people are. I think the greed is taking over. So they're selling wood and um, going to excavate for gold. So they destroy parts of it. But for now, we still have 70% of green Amazon forest untouched.
That's incredible.
Yes. So a
So
little bit about the history.
yes,
A
please.
little bit about the history. Suriname was actually discovered. Um, I'm not sure what year it was exactly, but before the people came, before the Dutch came, there were like American Indians, indigenous people that lived in Paramaribo, and they lived along the riverside. And this tribe was called the Surinen, Surinene, and that's where we got our name from, Suriname. Okay, the first Indian tribe was the Suriname, and when the Dutch
Uh-huh.
came, they abandoned the place and got into the jungles of Suriname.
Wow.
What else can I tell you? Um, there was a trade also because the English had hold of Suriname also,
Yes.
and they kept it for a couple of years, and then they traded New York, that was called New Amsterdam. They
Uh-huh.
traded it for um, also a city that's called New Amsterdam in Suriname, and they traded it in, I think it was around the 1600s, and they traded with the Netherlands. So the the English took over New York, and it was called after the Duke of York. So they called New Amsterdam, that's now in the United States, New York, and they traded it for that piece of land in Suriname that's called New Amsterdam. So there was a trade going on.
That's incredible. If I may allow, because most people don't realize that
Hmm.
the Dutch had control over, the what today is Manhattan, right?
Yeah.
In New York. And then there is a trade. The British had this part of South America.
Hmm.
So there is that trade where the British say, okay, we'll take the north part and we'll give you the south. And the Dutch, knowing that there is gold in the south, they were going after that gold and they
Yeah.
exchange it. But if that exchange would have never happened, today New York would be speaking Dutch, right?
Yeah. True.
And they
True.
wouldn't be speaking the English.
Yeah.
And you guys would be speaking English and not speaking
We
Dutch.
would. Yeah. We
So,
would be speaking English.
so Milton, you speak, how many languages do you speak?
Um. I speak Dutch. I speak a little bit of English, a little bit of Spanish. Taki taki.
You speak a lot of
Um.
English and a lot of
Yeah.
Spanish too.
Okay. I speak a little bit of one of the dialects here from the Maroons.
Uh-huh.
That's called Okans or
Okans.
Okanisi.
Uh-huh.
Okans or Okanisi. Yeah, those are the languages I think I speak.
That's amazing. So
Yeah.
can you teach us some words for today as we are adventuring into Suriname? We want to be prepared, right? So
Hmm.
let's go through the language. Can you tell
Okay.
us how to say hi? My name is. I'm from. Or basic phrases that we can use.
Okay. If you want to say hi, my name is Milton,
Uh-huh.
then you say hello. Mijn naam is Milton.
Hello, my
Mijn
name
naam is
is
Milton.
done. Yeah,
Yes,
Milton.
right.
Yes.
And if you want to say hello, how are you? Then you say hello, hoe gaat het?
Hoe
Hallo,
gaat het?
hoe gaat het?
Hoe gaat het?
Hoe gaat het?
Awesome.
Yeah.
And what do you say? I am from, for example, the U.S. I'm from the U.S.
Ik ben van.
Ik
Ik
ben van.
ben van. Yeah.
Ik ben van USA, United
Yes.
States. Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
Ik
that's
ben
good.
van de USA.
That's not hard. Ik ben van.
Yeah.
Okay. And how do you say please, thank you, hello, goodbye?
If you say please,
Uh-huh.
please is alstublieft.
Woo.
Alstublieft. Yes.
As aus to believe.
Alstublieft.
Aus to believe.
Alstublieft.
Okay.
Yes.
Aus to believe. Uh-huh. And thank you.
And thank you is dank u.
Thank you. Okay.
Dank u.
Sounds a little German, but I can get it
Yeah.
because the
Dank
Dutch and
u, or you can say dank u wel. Like if you speak to older people,
uh-huh.
you say dank u. You use
Okay.
the u.
Ew.
If you talk to your peers or to younger people, then you say dank je wel. Dank je wel.
Thank you well.
Yes.
Thank you well. Awesome. Awesome. I love that. How do you say goodbye?
Dag. Dag.
Dag. Dag.
Dag.
Dag.
Dag.
So do you have to put something in your throat so that you can pronounce it just right?
No, just pretend like you want to spit,
Uh-huh.
and you're
Dag.
like, dag.
Dag. Oh,
Yeah.
that's a good tip. That's a very good tip. Yeah. Awesome. Now, let's say a full sentence so that we can hear it all, like how Dutch sounds like all together. Can you say like, welcome to Away We Go. We're going to be taking a virtual tour today of the beautiful nation of Suriname. Can you say that in
Okay.
Dutch?
Nou, welkom op dit programma Away We Go. Wij gaan een virtuele tour nemen naar het mooie land Suriname.
Awesome. Sounds so great. So All right, Milton. So the nation of Suriname, it's rich in nature. You guys have part of the Amazon. You guys
Yes.
have 70%, green. You said it's the greenest nation on earth, and I believe that's 70% green. But also, you guys are rich in wood, and I have right here in my hand, for those of you who can see,
Oh yeah,
it's a gift that you gave me years ago, and this is now. I'm a wood fan because I like to work with my hands and I like to build things with wood. And I'm telling you, I'm yet to see another nation that has more beautiful wood than the wood you find in Suriname. And right here, I have um, it's original. It says made in Suriname. For those of you that can't see, but this piece of wood, I mean, this is hard, solid wood. And I know people that have, fly this wood all the way to the U.S. And I mean, the square foot of this puppy is almost $200. Just the square foot of this kind of wood. And the image, okay, so the shape of this gift is the shape of the nation of Suriname, and um, it's I mean the show is very short, so we don't have a lot of time to talk about the whole nation. So we're only gonna touch base a little bit with a few things. But I'm telling you, there is so much to see in these countries. One of my most beautiful countries I've ever visited. And then these soldiers that we have right here, it's a um, this is the warrior, right, from the American Indians, or how do you call them?
Yes.
Amerindians, and that's where the name of the country comes from, Suriname, right?
Yeah.
They used to be
True.
called what was their name?
Suriname. Suriname.
Surin, Zurinan,
Suriname.
Zurinan,
Yes.
Zurinan, Zurinan. So
The
these are the
Suriname
warriors
tribe.
that live here, the Suriname tribe, and these were
And
hunters. Go ahead.
and this is what you see. These are this is the emblem of our official presidential flag.
Uh huh.
So you have two of these warriors on each side, and then we have they form the weapon of our country.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Uh, it's rich in history. Um, a Dutch colony that received their independence. When did you guys get your independence? In '86? You said no.
No, in 1975.
1975.
Yeah.
So you guys received your independence from the Netherlands, and you are now what part? What type of government do you guys have?
We right now we are a republic. We have a democratic system with a president, a vice president, and a government.
And how many parties are running for
Too
president?
much,
Too
too
many.
much, too many, too many. We have
Wow.
we had the elections 2 weeks ago,
Uh-huh.
and I believe there were 17 or 18 different political parties that participated.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's a lot of them.
that's a lot. That's too,
But it speaks of the democracy of the country, where you have the freedom. Like if you want to run for president, you can run for president. Now,
yeah.
so the relationship between the Holland and Suriname. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
For right now, like with this president, it was not as good as it was. It has its advantages because the Netherlands, they still try to control, the economy, the way things are going in our country, even though we are already independent. So this the the political party that was in government for the last 10 years did not allow that. So actually the relationship cooled down a little bit.
Mm.
Not that we're enemies or something like that, but the influence from them was less than it was before. But a lot of Suriname people live in the Netherlands. They moved over there. So I think we have, yeah, I'm not sure how many, but there are a lot. that live over there because it's easy. The language is the same,
Uh-huh.
and so they moved over there in the Netherlands. So we have I have a lot of family over there. Actually, everyone in Suriname has family in the Netherlands, so
That's
we're still
amazing.
connected by family. Yeah,
Because that's a long trip all the way from Suriname to the Netherlands. I mean, how
it's
long
nine
of
hours, 9 hours
a
flying,
flight?
a
That's a
flight. Yeah,
9 hour flight. I
yeah.
mean, that's incredible. Now, what is the number one sport in Suriname?
Soccer
Soccer. And
or yeah,
so
soccer.
most people that know about Europe, you know that Holland or the Netherlands is a big soccer country as well. But
True.
what most people don't realize is that most of the famous players from Holland are actually from
Hmm.
Suriname. Tell us some names
They
of
are.
some famous soccer players. People will be shocked
No,
about it.
some big names that people will remember are Ruud Gullit, Edgar Davids, Clarence Seedorf,
Seedorf,
uh,
Davis.
Seedorf, Davids. Yeah. Um, there's still some more.
There's a
Like
couple right
this
now
guy
that are
Van
very
Dijk.
famous.
Van Dijk, he has Surinamese roots.
Uh-huh.
He plays for, I think, was it is it Liverpool? Yeah, Liverpool.
Yes.
Van Dijk is one of them. So actually, I think almost 25 or maybe 30, 40% of the Dutch team was Surinamese. This other guy also, he used to play for Barcelona also. He had the number 9 or number 10.
I remember him. He also Kluivert. Yes. Thank you,
Kluivert.
Paul. Thank you,
Yes.
Paul. Yeah,
Yes.
Kluivert.
That's
That's
him.
amazing.
Yeah.
Now, and I'm a good job, Paul. We have Paul Esomar watching,
All
and
right.
he commented quickly. Now, Milton, when I visited with you, you know, you and I are big soccer fans. We actually met in a soccer field, right? And that's when
Mm-hmm.
we became good friends. And when I went to visit Suriname, um, you took me to play, and the guys were playing barefoot. And that's one of the most difficult soccer I have ever played. Now, I'm Mexican descent. I normally wherever I go, I can click in and try to
Mm-hmm.
speak everything. But I'm telling you, it was almost impossible to pass these guys. The speed, the
Mm-hmm.
game, the way they play, and Holland knows that, so they know where to get their best players from.
That's
So
true. That's true.
that was so much fun.
But right now we have I think it was 2 years ago that we for the first time we qualified as a country for the Gold Cup,
Awesome.
um, because we were allowed to have some of the international players, actually
Okay.
Dutch players, that could have double nationality and they could play
Wow.
for Suriname. So they helped us a lot, because it's still talent from Suriname that's playing over there, and they decided, to help or to join the Suriname squad. So that was a good thing. That's a good thing. So
Yeah,
we
that
hope
is
that more
amazing.
players will join us.
Yeah. Can you imagine the Dutch national team on the Copa de Oro? That would be incredible.
Yeah, yeah,
Just should just give you the trophy just now. I mean,
yeah.
uh, now Milton, tell us how do we get there? If we're in Columbus, Ohio, and we want to get to Suriname. How do we get there? What flights? What's the route like?
Okay. If you want to fly out of the United States, the flights that go straight to Suriname are flights out of Miami,
Okay.
Florida. So you have to fly down to Miami, Florida, and then you can fly with different airlines.
Uh huh.
You can fly with Suriname Airways. They fly through Aruba, and then Suriname, or you can fly through with Suriname Airways. You can fly through uh, Trinidad,
Trinidad.
Suriname,
Uh huh.
or through Georgetown, Guyana to Suriname. If you
Okay.
fly if you fly with Caribbean Airlines, you fly through Trinidad, part of Spain, then you come to Suriname. So
Well,
that's the way.
when I went there to Suriname, I was already in the Caribbean, but I
Hmm.
had to fly back to Miami, and then I flew from Miami to Port of Spain,
Yeah.
Trinidad, and then from Trinidad I flew into Paramaribo. But now, do people need a visa to enter Suriname?
Yes, they do. Actually, it depends on the country you're from. If you're from the Netherlands, you need a tourist card. They introduced it, I think, a couple of years ago. If you're from let's see, I think Cuba, Venezuela, you just need a tourist card. But if you
Wow.
come from another countries like the United States and other countries, you need a visa.
Well, I remember when I went there, I had to get my visa, but you helped me, and
Yeah.
I didn't get a regular visa. I got a special kind of visa, and I'm telling you, it was the most amazing thing. I still have it. I wish I had my other passport where I still have that visa, and it was like what's it called? What type of visa was that?
It was I forgot what it was, but I had I mean I was blessed, to have the right connections with the
In the
Minister
government.
of Foreign Affairs,
Uh
and
huh.
she allowed me, to I think it was an more like a diplomatic visa you had.
I remember that because that was the first and only country that I've ever crossed the border where I didn't see an immigration officer. At the moment
Yeah.
I stepped out of my seat, there were officials from the government waiting for me, and they scolded me. I was like, "What did I do wrong?" And I saw everybody else getting in line to go through customs and immigration, and I was taken to a VIP room, and there was a lot of food and drinks and everything, and you were there waiting for me,
Yeah.
and I never saw the immigration. They actually just took my passport, they
Hmm.
stamp it. I never saw
Yeah.
anybody, and when I left the country, it was the same thing. So thank
Yeah.
you so much for that, Milton. You gave me royal treatment, and that was such an amazing experience. Because I've been in other, port of entry in other nations where I'm not even sure if they want me in their country or not. but I was certainly
Yeah.
blessed to be there in the country of Suriname. So Milton, let's talk about a little bit of history about World War II when
Hmm.
Hitler and the Nazis take over the Netherlands, and they want to take also Suriname. And there is actually evidence where there's a ship, right? And I'm gonna
Yeah.
share my screen, and I'm gonna show you guys. This is amazing. I was blown away when I saw this. There is actually a ship in Suriname. We're gonna go back to Google Earth where you can see. Okay, so here again, we are looking at Suriname, and we're just at the capital, Paramaribo, which has a population of about 300,000 people. Most of the people in Suriname live in the capital, and let's see if I remember correctly, Milton. We are. You tell me. I'm Fort Selendia, and oh, it's right here. If you guys can see, I'm moving slowly, and there is. You can see it from Zoom, and there is Frak van del Golsar. Did I say it right?
Rak van de Gosselaar.
Yes.
Rak van de
Okay.
Gosselaar.
So there is that ship that belonged to the Nazis, right?
Yeah.
So tell us about it.
Actually, the name Goslar is an actual town in Germany, and during World War II, this was actually uh yeah a merchandise ship that was traveling the world. But during the time when Germany was taking over countries, and they invaded the Netherlands and some of the countries over there.
Uh-huh.
Suriname was also on the list. So when they were in war with each other, um, the actually the mission from Netherlands was, to destroy everything that had to do with the German people. So this
Hmm.
ship came actually to to do or to deliver some merchandise. But what they did when they heard, I think it was around, I think 1940, where the war was intense. So this ship was around that time came in the in the river of Suriname, in the Suriname River. And when they came over there, the Dutch government in the Netherlands, they gave um, the permission, to take over this ship. So what the captain did was when they arrested the crew, he went down the ship and opened some of the windows or whatever you call it. And when the tide was coming up, the tide was changing. Water came into the ship and it sank. So it destroyed all of the merchandise, and he took a lot of those important papers he had with him. He took it because they arrested him and he managed to escape. he still managed to escape. So we
That's
never knew
amazing.
what the purpose specifically was of this ship because he took all of the paperwork with him. So that
That's
was
incredible.
during World War II.
So during World War II, this ship made it all the way over there.
Yeah,
Oh, what a story! So the captain escaped, but he said, "You might take me, but you're not taking my boat." And
yeah,
that boat's still there to this day.
yeah. He sank it.
All right, so
So
let's take
actually,
a look.
you can see part of the ship,
Uh-huh.
and then you have an idea how deep the river is. It's not that deep.
Right, and that's why the color is
It's brown. Yeah,
brown
it's a lot of
because it's
mud.
not deep.
Yeah,
So these are not sand bays. These are
muddy banks.
muddy banks. Yeah, the muddy
Yeah.
banks of yachts because of the altitude. So, all right. So there is another port. So we're right now we're looking in the screen at the capital of Suriname, Paramaribo, and we are right in the downtown area. And this is something incredible, which is a synagogue and a mosque. This is the only place in the world where you will see a synagogue and a mosque sharing a wall. And I'm going to show you right here um, the and this is beautiful buildings. I remember looking at that. You can see this is the synagogue. Look at that. So when you go into Suriname, you're expecting to see some of South American, European kind of architecture in this place. But then
Mhm.
you get here. I mean, I was shocked when I got there and I saw, buildings like this and edifice like this. And then on the right next door is the synagogue. So this is the mosque, right?
This is
And
the mosque. Yeah.
and the synagogue is right here, and you can see the synagogue view from right here. That's the so that's quite. So this talks about the tolerance of the people of Suriname. They're open-minded. They're not very aggressive. I was mentioning to you. I was shocked as I was studying about the country, the level of crime, the rating of crime in your country is almost non-existent. I mean, it is, but not that much. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah. The crime rate is not that high. You have incidents, but it's still a pretty safe country to walk, to live in. Like you were talking about the tolerance. Yeah, the Surinamese people have a big tolerance um rate because we came from different parts of the world. Our forefathers, people from India, and everybody came with their culture. But we have learned, to respect each other, and that's actually the main focus. Also, we're not let me say we're a nation, but to form it, you have to tolerate each other. So we're still in the process of it, and it's working because if you see a mosque and a Jewish synagogue right to each other, that talks a lot about um, the maturity of our thinking. and
Yes.
and we have sometimes we have Hindu temples right next to um, yeah uh, mosques, and churches right next to temples. So we're pretty tolerant what religion concerns, but also what uh, the ethnic groups. It's still there some in some parts, but it's not that high like you see in other countries.
Right, right. So we're looking right now at the St. Peter's in Sao Paulo Basilica of Paramaribo, and that's right in the downtown. It's a beautiful building, and as you are walking down in Suriname, I mean, Suriname people like to party, don't they, Milton?
Yeah, but for now with the lockdown, no parties.
So right now, because of COVID-19, everybody is locked down.
Yeah.
All right, so I want to take you guys to the presidential palace. Right now, I'm looking. I'm doing a three view of the St. Peter's, and if I get that right, we'll go into the presidential palace,
Hmm.
which is right here. This is where the president lives. Is that right?
He
Or
doesn't
works from?
live there. He has his office there. Um, I think since the independence, none of the presidents live there. The governors before the independence, they used to live in the presidential palace. But I don't think
Okay.
the presidents after the independence live there. So right
That-
in front of it, you have the Independence Square. This is the Independence Square.
This is Independence Square. Okay.
Yeah, that's
So
the
this is
front yard of the palace actually.
that's amazing.
Yeah,
That's incredible.
and different activities you can ask for permission,
Uh huh.
and if you get a permit, you can have a lot of activities. People
Now the
have concerts, firework shows, crusades, different kind of activities.
one of the things I admired the most was the building architectures because when you are in Suriname, you really get a good flair of the Dutch
Hmm.
architecture and in the buildings there. Now another thing that shocked me was the vehicles in Suriname, the brands of cars. I've heard some brands that I've never seen in my life. Like it's the only place in the world that has this kind of cars, like the Dragon and the Great Wall car and
Hmm.
all brands,
The Chinese versions.
the Chinese versions of all these cars that I've never
Yeah,
seen in America, neither in
yeah.
other parts of South America.
Hmm.
There is a Dutch embassy right here. And so I'll show you some pictures. So now I'm gonna go into some personal pictures, Milton, if it's okay. And
Yeah.
okay, so let me before I get to this one, I wanna show you one of the jungles because we're gonna go from the capital Paramaribo, and this is a picture I want to show into the jungle. So this is the Amazon. So while I was in Suriname, Milton and I took a group of about 50 young people from the capital Paramaribo, and we were going to the border with Guyana to Apura, right? Milton, I
Apura.
can remember how long of a drive was that?
It was about, I think, 9 hours, 8 to 9 hours.
Yeah, yeah, that was a fun drive. So 9 hours. We left like at 3 in the morning from
We did.
Paramaribo. We have 50 young people in two buses, and you and I are in a jeep kind of car, and we're driving down in the Amazon. We stopped there for a break, and I took a picture because I wanted to see this red. As you can see, these are the color. This is not Photoshop. This is the color of the land, and that's me standing there. It's red
It is.
road. I've never seen anything like this anywhere else.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I remember we're driving and you're driving and I fell asleep. And when I opened my eyes, we're sleeping in the car and, and the car goes off the road and we end up in a ditch, right?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So these
The roads
roads are,
are the roads are dangerous over there, so you have to be careful.
yeah, you can't be speeding a whole lot because
No. No.
you can really hurt yourself. And then we cross all kinds of bridges like this because Suriname is
Hmm.
rich in water. And let's talk about the jungle. My experience, Milton, when I was there, is the green, the nature. But I've seen pictures of the Amazon before. But one
Hmm.
thing that just shocked me was the power, the sound, the roar of the wind rushing through the forest, through the jungle, the animals, the leaves, and it's an empowering sound. I mean, it's quite frightening.
It is. It is.
It's alive.
It is. It is. There are a lot of wild animals there.
So what are some of the most famous animals you see there? I love these trees. Look at that.
Hmm. Oh yeah.
What are some of the animals that you have there in Suriname?
In the deep jungles we have the jaguar, we have the panther, um, we have uh, what else do we have? We have a lot of. I mean, I know them in my language. Um,
We have sloths,
Sloths,
right?
yeah, we have sloths. We have different kinds of birds,
Oh yeah, toucans.
toucans. Yeah.
So we're looking right here a picture on Facebook of a house. This is now in the uh, western part of Suriname, and this
Mm,
is Apura, and this is
Apura.
a house, right,
Yeah.
of the village. I love
It's a
that little
typical.
stick right here. You see how they put the trash right there
Yeah.
on the,
Yeah.
and then the trash truck comes and picks it up. I love that.
Mm.
So I want to show a story that happened to me while I was there. Oh, look at this fruit. This was delicious. This is a star fruit, or how do you call this one?
We call it ster apple.
Star apple.
If I translate it like just like it says, it's star apple.
Star apple. Okay. Now I remember eating it. It was delicious. It's sweet,
It is.
sweet sour at the same time. So I want to show you something that happened. So here we are, here with the youth. We were running a summer camp, working in Apura with the children, and we had such a success. I think every child of the village came, and we're playing their games with them. And as we were playing games with them, a little boy, look at those kids having a blast, just having so much fun. Milton, you have worked with the youth for many years. I think they are here doing some kind of game and dancing, and uh, I don't know if they can hear or not. Now we haven't even see we cannot do justice to Suriname in just one meeting because we haven't even touched about the music. But I was there with the kids, and this child, he's an American Indian. He came from the jungle, and
Hmm.
he had this sloth hanging off of him. He had picked him up that morning. It's a
Yeah.
baby sloth. I mean, is there any cuter thing than this in the world? And I remember he let me uh, put that sloth on me, and
Hmm.
you can see the claws right here.
Yeah.
Now he was alive. But Milton, are these dangerous?
Um, Actually, they're not dangerous, but if they feel threatened, then these claws are like almost the size of your hands. When we
When they
when
grow
we
up, right?
Yeah, and they can slit you.
They do have the ability to penetrate skin.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
But
I
most
remember.
of them, if you approach them like real quiet and they won't be a danger. But if they feel threatened,
Uh,
then they can swing with their claws.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness. They eat green leaves, right?
they do.
I remember
Fruits, insects.
I remember when he started doing that, you can see he has his claws right against my chest, right next to my
Hmm.
heart. And I
Yeah.
was telling the kid, I was telling the translator, tell the kid to keep him happy. Tell the kid to keep him fed, keep him green so he
Yeah.
doesn't penetrate my heart. No, he was a baby one. He wouldn't do that. But that was an amazing experience to hold a little baby sloth right, right next to me. I held him as long as I could. It was amazing. Um, here are some of the games that the kids were playing. Um, so now, one thing that I cannot stop this program and talk about is uh, the music in the Suriname culture.
Hmm.
Tell me about music, Milton. Tell me about some famous artists and some of the music. How important is music to the Suriname culture?
Well, music in our country is very important. What most, let me say, most young people are influenced by the music from, um, actually from the United States, from Europe, but
Uh
also
huh.
right now we have like the Afro beats from I think Nigeria or somewhere like that. So those are a lot of the music that young people listen to. But our own music, um, and I see a lot of those Surinamese artists are mixing, the culture from the Afro beats and from the United States. They combine it. But originally, we have our the music in Suriname is they call it the kaseko, and
Caseco.
yeah, it's a lot of rhythm with a snare drum. That's the main part of the music. So a lot of the songs are kaseko music, uh, but now they mix it. There's like a blend between Afro pop and hip hop and so on, and they combine it and they have like a new mixture of it.
Okay. Now, a few seconds ago, I was showing this picture of the food. What is this dish that we're looking at right here?
This is called soto soup. It's actually an Indonesian soup.
Okay.
It consists of chicken, um, baked potato, and some, yeah,
Well, I
vegetables.
remember it was delicious. It was delicious. So
Yeah.
here's a picture of the harvesting of the trees, and I mean this is one of the
Hmm.
most beautiful red hard wood in the world. Quality trees. So there is a lot of exploration of that. And here's a picture uh, of us taking a little bit of break, and there you and I are matching right on one of the creeks in the river. That was a few years ago.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. True.
I love this picture and I love this shot. I wrote the name Suriname right there on the screen.
Coconut.
Yes. So let me go back to Google Earth to show you where we were in the country. So this is the capital. Again, this is the Suriname, and we were in Apura, which is on the east side. So we got the opportunity to be here, and it was amazing. As you can see, all of this green that you look in the screen, that's jungle
Yeah.
and jungle. So there's Apura, and it's right at the border. You can see right there on the screen of Guyana. There is a
Guyana.
river that divides Guyana and Suriname. And then you and I had the opportunity to go from here all the way. We went back to the capital, and then a few days late, a day later, we flew over to the east side of the country.
East
We
side.
went
Yeah.
by Grand Santi, right? Is that around there?
Grasanti or Stulmas Island. Stulmas Island we landed.
I think I'm here in Tumasela, and that's the other border, the Lawa
Hmm. The
River,
Lawa River. Yeah.
and we visited also this area. And in this area, we were working with the native people, the Maroons.
The
Who are the
Maroons.
Maroons?
The Maroons are the runaway slaves or descendants from the runaway slaves during the slavery period. Some of them escaped from the plantations and they went down. Actually, they went south, down south, across the rivers. Some of them by foot, some of them by boat, and they actually the more the people came down south, the more they traveled down south.
Mm.
So they were the actually the Maroons are the runaway slaves or descendants from the runaway slaves.
And for years they were hiding in the jungles, and now they are beginning to come out to civilization. Is that right?
Yeah, it's been actually before the independence. They were already because there were a lot of peace treaties signed So they were not um, actually they were not punished, for escaping anymore. So a lot of them live in the capital, but a lot of them lived in on the east side of the country, the east side of the country.
Okay.
And we had in 19 during 1986, I think for 2 years we had a civil war going on, and a
With
lot of, yeah, between rebels and the army of Suriname. And they escaped, a lot of them, because they had to flee, and they were refugees in French Guyana. That's why a lot of them still live there at the borders with French Guyana.
So I'm showing right here pictures of the airport where you and I
Yeah.
landed in one of those small planes, and
Yes.
you see the planes landed. That was my first time, Milton, ever landing on grass
Oh, really?
because there is no road there, and there's
No.
this was our assistant. He came and unloaded our luggage and
Yeah.
take it and took it to the airport, which is basically
Hmm.
that's basically the airport right there that you're looking at.
Yeah.
Smallest airport I've ever been to.
Yeah.
And we took on the river,
Hmm.
and here is a picture
That's the
of
Lava
the river,
River. Yeah, the Lava River.
the Lawa River, which is a big river. Now, what are some
It
of the
is.
animals that live in this river?
You have piranhas,
Piranhas, yeah.
hmm Anyumara,
Eels. Do you have the electric
eels,
eels?
electric
Yeah.
eels, but they live mostly in the parts where there are rapids. That's where
Okay.
they stay.
Oh, I gotta. Okay, this is kind of gross, but I'll show you this. Let me give you a tip. If you're gonna be there, put screen there. This is the ants that got me,
The
and the
ants, yeah,
poison,
red
uh,
ants.
and my body is pushing out the poison that they put in my body, and it takes about 3 days. But yeah, that's kind of
Hmm.
gross. But this is what it kind of looks after
Hmm.
they beat you. So I've been bitten by I don't know how many mosquitoes and uh, and arangas. But I wanted to find a picture um, of well, here is an amazing picture. These are the lady, the maroon ladies, and they're washing their dishes in the river. This is where they
Hmm.
live. They live off the river. They hunt, they fish, they wash their dishes right here, right?
Yeah.
So their way of living. These are some guys building their own boat. Here they are construction in their own boats. The life there is completely different to the American life. Okay, this is so. Let me give you a little bit of warning. This might be a little too graphic for small audiences for children, but this is a wild pig from the jungle, Milton, that we're looking at.
Yes, that's it.
I remember we I think we purchased meat from these men that day.
Hmm. We did.
Yeah, so that's a wild hog, and oh, but there was one where the I wanted to show the iguanas. Let me see where the iguanas are. Oh, that's a little more left. I have many pictures. I have that. We might have to do another visit to to Suriname. Well, I can't find it right now. Let me see. Well, I can't find it right now. I remember that soldier was there at the airport, and he was
Hmm.
sent there to protect the people there from the 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 people that come into the jungles to try to steal the gold, right? And this is
Yes.
the machine guns they use
Yeah.
to protect it. So let me go back here with you, Milton, and we'll wrap it up.
Hmm.
And let me go back here, right here with you. So let me just show you right quick a little bit of the currency of Suriname. I have a 20. Can you see it right there? And a $50 bill. Suriname. What's the exchange rate, Milton? Do you remember right now to the US dollar?
Right now, it's for $1 you get, I think, 15 Surinamese dollars.
So it's called Suriname dollar. So
Yes.
here's
So this
the
is a
bills of money.
hundred.
Oh wow, yeah. Thank you for showing that.
This is the highest one. We have
Oh,
150, 20, 10, and 5.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So there is so much to say about Suriname, Milton. I mean, to me, that was one of the most magical trips I've ever been to. It was great. I love the people. I still stay in touch with many of the people there. But what for you? What are some of your things that you love the most about Suriname?
Actually, the weather. Um, we have 2 seasons. We have the rainy season and the dry season. So during the rainy season, we have lots of rain, and um, and in between you have sunshine. But the weather is always good. You don't need a jacket. You don't need a coat. You just be yourself. And um, what else? I mean, there's freedom. There's freedom in whatever you want to do. There's no rush, and it has its advantages, but also its disadvantages. You know,
Mm.
because people are most of the time procrastinating, and that's the disadvantage. But there's no pressure at all. So the freedom we have in speech and in living, in also the tolerance we have between each other, and the different cultures, of course. And with
Yes,
different cultures, you have
the
different
melting pot.
food. Yeah. So that's what I love about Suriname: the people, the climate, and the freedom we experience.
Okay, so let's go right now. If there are any questions, we'll take some questions. I want to take advantage of Milton being here. Thank you so much again, Milton, for being here. Let me see if there are any questions here on social media, and or if anybody has any questions here. Let me see. Someone is asking if there was jaguars and panthers in the jungle.
There are, but we didn't see them. Maybe they saw us, but we didn't see them.
That's the thing. They see you, and you don't know they're being watched.
Yeah,
Yeah. How safe is Suriname for tourism?
it's pretty safe. Of course you have to watch yourself, but um, it's not that dangerous like when I hear the crime rate in other countries. It's pretty safe. You can walk freely without being, robbed or whatever. So there's a lot of safety in Suriname. So in the capital, outside, when we went to the interiors,
Yes.
to the east and the west side, actually you can sleep with your door open. Nobody will bother to come in. In the
I don't know if
capital,
there's
it's
many
different.
places in the world you can do that.
Yeah, in the capital, it's different, of course, but it's still safe. It's still safe.
Mm.
You can walk freely, like an outsider. People won't bother you. You will see other tourists also, and it's pretty safe.
That is awesome. Um, and another question came in. What food is Suriname known for?
Um, the problem is we have a lot of good food and good dishes because of the different cultures. Um, you have the Indian food that's called roti with
Uh huh.
masala, with curry.
Mm, curry.
Yeah, we
I
have
love it.
the pom, like you were talking about at the beginning, the pom. That's I think it's yuca with meat and different ingredients.
Uh-huh.
We eat a lot of rice dishes with vegetables, uh, uh, but actually it's so diverse that it's difficult to choose one dish, only one dish.
Well, there's such a variety. I mean, there's Chinese people, people from Indonesia, people from India, people from Europe, from South America, it's Africa. All right, another question. What should we expect to pay for things like the hotel cost, average for food price, transportation?
Um, it's less than what you pay in America, of course. But for hotel, I think a good hotel will cost you maybe 50 to 60 US dollars. That's a good hotel.
That's good.
60 US dollars per night, and that includes some of them have shuttles from the airport to the hotel and vice versa, breakfast, etc. So for a good hotel, like the one you stayed at, Torarica,
Oh, that was
that's
a five star.
yeah, that's pretty the price. I think it's around 60 75 US dollars a night.
That's good.
Mm.
Here's another question. Is there cultural integration with the other Guyanas?
Yes, there is. Um, Actually, the difference between the three Guyanas is simply the language.
Uh-huh.
In Guyana, they speak English. In Suriname, they speak Dutch, and in French Guyana, of course, French. But the cultural differences are not that much. In French Guyana, you have a lot more people from Maroon descendant, and in Guyana, you have more from the people from India. You know,
Yes.
but I think the differences are only the languages that are spoken. Food is almost the same, but in Suriname it is diverse because we have people from China, people from Brazil, people from Indonesia. So the food is diverse more than in French Guyana than and in Guyana, because
Okay.
in Guyana the two biggest ethnic groups are the people from India and people that are descending from the Africans. But in Suriname, it's a mixture of all.
Okay. I think there's another question coming in. Are there any cruise ships that stop in Paramaribo?
Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot. Just a few.
Okay, because somebody said the flight was too long. They need a cruise there to get there.
No, what people can do is if you fly to Aruba, you can stay a day over there and experience the beach, and then fly 2.5 hours to Suriname. So that's pretty much to do.
Okay,
If you fly to Trinidad, you fly, I think, from Miami to Trinidad is 3.5 hours, and you can stay there also a night or spend a night there, and then fly from Trinidad to Suriname is just 1.5 hour.
okay.
So there are a lot of options. So let nothing stop you to come.
That's right. That's right. So I think we're a good stop right here, Milton. I'm really so appreciative of your time. I thank you so much for your willingness to come, and thank you. I know you're a busy man, but thank you. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
No, it was a pleasure. It was fun, and I thank you also for the opportunity to share a little bit of Suriname. Hopefully you'll visit uh, again, and everybody
Yes.
that's watching right now, you're very welcome. Um, like they would say in Mexico, mi casa is su casa. So
That's right. That means your house is my house.
yes, and in Dutch I would say mijn huis is jouw huis.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Well, thank you everybody for your time. Milton, once again, thank you so much for joining us. This was
You're
a
welcome
great trip for me,
anytime.
memory lines, and I can't wait to go back to Suriname one day. I'll stay in touch with you soon. I'm gonna say goodbye to all of our Facebook audience and to
All right,
everyone in
bye bye.
Zoom. Thank you so much. Have a great day.